Welcome to This Is Truth. You know who that is, don't you? Andrew Tate. Red pill. So, what's wrong with Andrew Tate? Listen, some of this stuff, as a guy, I get, right? But the one thing I've got to say is, man, Andrew, if you had a daughter, would you want a guy to treat your daughter the way you tell us guys to treat girls? Recreation. I don't want my daughter treated as recreation. So let's talk about Andrew, former kickboxer, entrepreneur, internet personality, gained global notoriety for his polarizing views on masculinity, money, women, life success. All over TikTok, all over YouTube, and especially, teen boys and young men really in their 20s. He sells the image of luxury cars, private jets, cigars, watches, surrounded by beautiful women, and he's the archetype, or he's the epitome of the modern alpha male. And of course, I think he was selling courses, some kind of university or something. But beneath the flashy exterior, there's a serious problem. Misogyny disguised as masculinity. Now, we all know this word misogyny, right? He frames women as inferior, manipulative, transactional. Well, transactional, we could talk about that. His quotes are like, women are property and men should control their women. He flexes wealth without real substance. Bugattis, Rolexes, jets. He pushes this alpha male thing. And so, you have to understand this. There's a lot of women that do not grow up with their biological father in the home, and that causes a lot of problems because guys get girls pregnant, they run off, and then the mother has to become the man and be in a role that maybe God didn't create her to be in. She is now the leader. She has to go to work. She has to make dinner. She has to do laundry. She's tired. Has to do dishes. So what does a single mom do? Hand the kid the iPad. Very rarely, is the woman living in a cul-de-sac with the aunts and the cousins and other women and her mother to take care of the children. They live in California. They live far away. So this family union, like back when I was growing up, everybody lived pretty much close together. Didn't move out of the community. And there was that family unit, but nowadays that's all different. And of course, you could say that women sometimes go to college to find the guy, the doctor, lawyer, astronaut to marry so that she can settle down. But over the last several years, women have become more independent, and then they wait till they're 30, 35 to get married. And then of course the guy's going to ask what the body count is, and then the woman's going to ask, what's your credit score? Do you have a six-pack? Are you established? That kind of thing. So it's a different world than when most of us were growing up. Those of us in our 60s, it's totally different now. OnlyFans, you got girls on there making 10, 20 grand a week. But then when they turn 35, they're always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And then you have guys, right? They're listening to Andrew Tate and the Whatever podcast, Better Bachelor podcast. And they're hearing all this stuff now, guys, and yes, guys should be strong. Guys should be. But I was watching the Better Bachelor podcast the other day, and he hit something. His name is Joker, where for many years, men were told to share their feelings. And now women are getting tired of that. They don't want to hear the man's feelings because then women are saying, I'm not your therapist. And in general, I think women, want men to be strong and lead, but not too demanding and make me a sandwich and walk 3 steps behind me. So going back to Andrew, have I listened to him? Yes. Have I listened to the Whatever podcast? Yes. Another person who I really like is Myron on Fresh and Fit. Now with Fresh and Fit, Fresh didn't listen to his own advice, got a girl pregnant, told her to get an abortion, so that's not cool. But Myron, I like Myron, but he has some bad advice too. But again, what do you think? What do you think about Andrew Tate? What do you think about Fresh and Fit? What do you think about the Whatever podcast? What do you think about red pill. And let me know. I mean, guy, if you're a guy, hey, I agree, I disagree. If you're a girl, we know what you're going to say. These guys are like messing everything up. They're giving the guys the wrong idea, whatever. But I've got to go back to women where, I mean, I'm very fortunate. I've been married 41 years. I have grown kids. They had a male influence in their home. And it's the same with my grandsons. I pour a lot of time into my two young grandsons because they need a male influence. They got their mom, they got their biological dad, but they may have a woman teacher, so they're getting all this feminine stuff, but where is the masculine stuff coming from? And you want it to be the right masculine stuff, right? Leave comments below, like, share, save, whatever. There's Andrew Tate. What a trip. Scott Lara here on This Is Truth.